ourselves right in the center of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in Arlington at AT&T Stadium. A moment ago, here was the scene with the Cowboys emerging from their tunnel. It was loud. It's still loud. We're ready for football as the Cowboys get set to match up with the Denver Broncos. Now the kicker, Brandon McManus, about ready to get us started. And we are underway from AT&T Stadium. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
One of the beauties of a 3-4 defense is that you have flexibility with your linebackers and you can put them in different spots. But one of the downsides is an offensive team that's committed to running the football, you can get your big offensive linemen up on linebackers quicker, and that usually gives you an advantage in running it.
It's already 2nd and 12. The defense hoping to push them back more. Prescott from the gun. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Shane Ray. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Now a run with Anderson. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
And power running here down to the 6-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
And that'll get him halfway there as he takes it from the 6 to the 3-yard line. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
They'll run it. Here's Anderson. And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. C.J. Anderson, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Broncos have taken the early lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And before this series gets rolling, you know, a story, very feel-good story. Cowboys' 3rd preseason game. Nice to see Jalen Smith out there, wasn't it?
I almost get emotional talking about this because when Jalen Smith was in college at Notre Dame before that draft season, I had him ranked as a top player in college football. And when I saw him get hurt in the bowl game and then to hear the extent of the injury where people said he may never play football again, for him to battle his way back and be out there in an NFL game and then to see him perform and see him like Jalen Smith of old, that's pretty darn impressive. My hat's off to that young man.
Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. the shotgun, it's Prescott. A dump off to Elliott. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Prescott looks to throw on first. On the left side, he finds Beasley. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one goes for 24 yards. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. I ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a long night.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
Second down, Prescott. And that's going to be knocked away and incomplete. And with it, time has expired on the first quarter. Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And he'll have the first down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs. A first down carry by Elliott. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott taking it in from 14 yards out. And the Cowboys are an extra point away from tying the football game. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Here's Anderson as they begin this series on the ground. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. So those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
They run. Anderson. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
So right now what I'm seeing I'm seeing an offense just firing off the ball a lot quicker than they can react. And not only that, they're sustaining the blocks, too. I'm seeing guys get 6-7 yards downfield before there's even a hint of contact.
And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. I'm no offensive mastermind, but of all the guys on the field to block, you might want to stop him.
Look, I've got a very simple rule. An unblocked defender is usually your best defender, and he ended up making the play there.
Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up. Now it's the former Texas Longhorn, Jamal Charles with a carry. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up 4th down. Simeon and the offense stay and put. They'll go on 4th down. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. 4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. We're back to Arlington right after this timeout. This is taken around the 12. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown. Now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
They'll start the drive with Elliott. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a 1st down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
His throw incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. So 2nd and 10 here. Prescott now. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to. Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. Oh, he takes it in, doesn't let it bounce. He takes it at the 2. A good return there, 17 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. 2nd down following the incompletion. Tenth carry now for Anderson. And an alley to run. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Here we go now. All right, now.
Play fake to Anderson. Now Simeon. And he will have a man, Demaryius Thomas. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Handoff comes to Anderson. Oh, he's got a little daylight. C.J. Anderson. And all the way home for a Broncos score. C.J. Anderson with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Broncos have taken the lead.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And out now come the Cowboys. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. A first down throw for Prescott. Gets it to Bryce Butler, complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A good pickup there at 22. Here's Prescott. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And on 2nd and 10 now. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Throwing again. Prescott on 2nd and 10. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. Cole Beasley, the intended target. And it's 3rd down.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
Final play of the half. Prescott into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Aqib Talib. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here, as they'll have it first to begin this 3rd quarter. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. They run again on first down. Anderson stops shy of the 45 despite some powerful running. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
When the 4-3 defense is functioning really well, you know who stays what we call clean and no one gets to him? The guy playing the middle linebacker position, the guy we call Mike. That means the defensive front is eating up all the blocks and just let him go to the football and make a play.
Yeah, and he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on second down. Third and 2, Simeon. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. And give him 5 yards there, and it's enough for the first. Running right. Oh, able to avoid him. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Thomas, the intended target. And that'll make it 3rd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it's contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. So here we go. The offense is going to stay out there. They're going for it on 4th and 8. They snap it to Simeon. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jalen Smith. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Clock showing 90 seconds to go in the 3rd. They'll try and get the running game going with Elliott. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Prescott now on 2nd down. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the free safety, Darian Stewart. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Launching one for Henderson. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco 1st down. They go play action here on 1st down. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Unable to connect on the 1st down pass play. Now it's 2nd down. Another tote here for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Anderson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball?
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Orlando Scandrick. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line. Well, they're not making it easy on themselves here down the stretch. 2 picks now in the fourth quarter trying to hang on to that lead.
Talk about keeping someone in the game. Instead of being able to shut the door, it's still cracked open because they can come back on you now. The only people who are really happy about those picks, any fantasy team that has this defense.
They start on the ground with Elliott. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
A second down throw for Prescott. And this one caught by Dez Bryant. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
It takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
And let's see what the defensive coordinator may have up his sleeve here to try to get this final last stand and win this football game. Now Prescott. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs as we just saw there.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Prescott on first down. And his throw is incomplete. Bryce Butler, the intended receiver. And now it's second down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Prescott to throw it, and that one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football here. Nearly a 4th pick, and it's third down. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. They'll throw again. Prescott. It's Williams on the catch. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. He's back to throw. Oh, no, he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because This is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And this will be incomplete. He was trying to get it to Ezekiel Elliott, and that takes us from second to third down. He has had a great game defensively. He's been east-west, north-south, everywhere.
Yeah, and I love how you described that, because to be a great defender, you have to be able to move up and back, sideline to sideline, and he's been fantastic. Reminds me of a young Charles Davis when he was playing Madden.
Absolutely. Oh, wow. I thought you were going on the field, but okay, I see you. He'll look to throw. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for him. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who've had the receivers on lockdown.
And this one complete to Virgil Green. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? It sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. It's just their first. They've got two more to use here in the final stages. Now it looks like he'll throw here. Green's got it over the middle. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. So the chain gang now done for the drive. Ball on the 10, first and goal. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with two remaining. We'll be back after this. On second down, Jamal Charles. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to third and goal.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Third down and goal from the 8. They run. Charles. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's fourth down. So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And his kick here is good. And they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted.